Thanks for joining us this morning for Good Day Stateline. As we celebrate Women in History Month, we've been highlighting women in our area who've done amazing things, but who are also currently doing amazing things. We found that there are quite a few women in business in our area, and today I'd like to introduce you to two of them. Lorraine Logan from Workplace Staffing and Anna E. Ruby from Spider Sushi Bar. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us here during Women's History Month. We always love talking to women business owners anytime on Good Day Stateline, but of course, March is like Women's Month, so we wanted to make sure we found the best of the best, so we did, and you too.
Thank you.
So, Lorraine, you are like a premier women business owner. I've heard you've won so many awards, and we're so happy that you joined us today. You're the founder and president of Workplace Staffing. Did you know early on that you wanted to be a business owner?
Since I was 10 years old.
That's really early on.
Yes, it was. I started designing checks for a business at 10 years old.
Do you still have any of those?
They were pink. Probably not.
I love that. That's so fun that you really did know that you wanted to.
Well, my dad was an entrepreneur, so I think it was a natural.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool. So tell us a little bit about Workplace Staffing for anyone who doesn't know about the company.
We connect talent and opportunities. We're working for regional businesses, regional organizations, really, connecting talent to their needs.
Perfect.
And so it's great for candidates because we can be a conduit for them.
Has there been a piece of advice that stuck with you throughout the years as a woman business owner?
Well, I think it goes back actually to my childhood where I was taught to be very self-reliant. So I think starting your own business, you really need to know that you can make it through whatever challenges you're going to face, and that you can figure out solutions for when you run up against a wall.
So how long have you been a business owner?
We just celebrated our 30th anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you a lot. It's been great.
So what were some of the tough things that you had to face when you started your business?
Well, starting it was just having to fill all the, do all the roles because you have no real capital when you start. So you answer the phone, you fill the jobs, you interview the candidates, you just do it all. And that's probably, it's a good way to really get your pulse on how it's going to operate and that kind of thing. But it's stressful.
It's nice then when you can hire people to do those.
It is indeed.
So you've obviously mastered that.
Oh, I hope so.
So that was a struggle for sure. What about just the fact that you are a woman who owns a business? Did you feel like there was more struggles because you were a woman?
I think even to today, when you walk in a room, you're not always as readily heard and believed. So I will tell you that when we opened the business, and I did have a partner for the first 18 months, we needed a line of credit because in the staffing business you pay weekly and you receive your revenue from customers monthly. So we wanted a line of credit. We went to a bank with a very impressive business plan, and the guy said to us, "You girls have created a really good little plan here, and we'll give you a third of what you're asking. You can come tell us every week how you're doing." Well, needless to say, we didn't stay there. The family of my partners pulled out all the money that they had at that bank, and we moved on. And that's probably our most sexist story of 30 years.
And you've never forgotten it.
I have never forgotten it, and I love to tell it.
Well, it's important that happens no matter what your line of business is. As a woman, at some point, somebody says something like that to you.
Right.
So that's good that you've clearly pushed that away and made yourself an awesome business.
Oh yeah, because then 15 years ago when I wanted to buy a building, I knew that I had a balance sheet that the banks would fight over. So it was kind of like, all right.
It would almost be like you wanted to go back to the original person and say, don't you want this?
Fortunately, he's retired.
Is there one piece of advice that you would give potential female entrepreneurs?
Yes, it's know what you're doing, hang in there because it's so rewarding. And I think women-led businesses are really phenomenal enterprises. I think we are more whole-brained perhaps than our other gender partners. And I think it's go for it.
I love that advice. It's a good time, I think, to be a woman in business right now, for sure. You've done so much for the community over the years. Is there something that you still want to accomplish that's on your bucket list?
Yes, and it is to get more people to be more inclusive in the conversations that happen in this community. Socioeconomics, gender, race, all of that. We have so much promise here, and there's so much opportunity. And I think if we can ever get beyond having buckets or silos of people. It's just phenomenal what we're going to accomplish. We're making headroads, but I'd love to be part of seeing that it get even better.
I would love to be part of that too, so let's work on that.
All right. Deal.
All right, Annie, so you are here. You are getting started on your business journey, but you own Spider Sushi Bar now, and now there's going to be a new location.
Yes.
So first of all, congratulations. That clearly
Thank
means you're doing it
you.
right.
Thank you.
If you're working on a
Appreciate
second location, and it's off of Perryville, right?
Yep, right next to Cold Stone and Panera, that strip mall.
Okay, so how did you decide that you wanted to open a second location?
Well, the first one's doing great, so we decided, we need to expand and get to the other side of town, basically, and we have a lot of customers everywhere, from Freeport, Dixon, Roscoe, Beloit, so we're just trying to get everyone as close as we can.
That's incredible. And you are opening this new location April 15th.
Yes,
So
hoping.
super soon.
Yes.
And you're also the mom of a 2-year-old daughter.
Yes.
So you're clearly a great example as a
Yes.
strong woman in business. What's the best part about being a business owner?
I want to say being independent, not having to go to someone and get approval if things need to be changed. You just make that decision, and the rules that you make for your own business, your own schedule as well, and basically the freedom.
Yeah, making your own rules.
Yeah,
Nothing
I
wrong
love
with
it.
that.
I love it.
What's the hardest part of being a business owner?
The hardest part is being responsible for everything, the employees, the finances, the customers, keeping them happy, keeping employees happy, because we're a team, and we have to make sure that we have enough money coming in so we can afford to pay them and keep a good team.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that also when you are the key to the business, when you're the business owner, you have to sacrifice sometimes.
Yes, sacrifice a lot of holidays, kids events, for example. Sometimes I have to miss my daughter's swimming classes or my sister's games, birthday parties. We have to move around. Sometimes we have to celebrate during the week because the weekends are the busiest part at a restaurant. So you just never know. It's always a new day.
Yeah, everything is just, you don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
You can be as prepared as you want, but you never know.
Exactly.
So you said your new location is supposed to open April 15th.
Yes.
So we are very excited about that. We'll have the same menu as your location on Harrison?
All the sushi rolls will be the same. We just adjusted some things. We added some salads for the summer. We took out some things that weren't really selling at the other one, but most part will be the same.
Great. We're totally looking forward to that. We're also looking forward to later in the show. Michelle Markham actually visited you earlier this week, right?
Yeah, she did.
You're already laughing,
Yeah.
which makes
that
sense.
was fun. That was fun. She did good.
She did good.
Yeah.
She said she did okay.
No,
So
she did great.
We're excited to check that out later in the show. She said that one of her favorite things about Spider Sushi Bar is that it's just perfect for any time, whether you're on a date or when you're hanging out with your family. It's just a great location for anything. So thank you in advance for whatever mess she may have made over with you. And thank you both for coming and being great, great examples of women in business. I hope you guys come back and we can talk about how great you are even more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Coming up, Michelle Markham will attempt to make that sushi at Spider Sushi Bar, and Lee Ogle Transportation has some news for our local area. Have you missed any previous Good Day Stateline shows? You can always find them at gooddaystateline.com. We'll be right back with more Good Day Stateline.